What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about learning languages as a tool for introspection, and for challenging insecurities. This is something that I've been noticing that's been pretty cool about learning languages, learning Mandarin Chinese. And that's while I've been learning Mandarin Chinese, I feel like it's allowed me to challenge some of my insecurities. For example, my fear of speaking in public, like public speaking. It's a very common insecurity that a lot of us have. When you learn a new language, you're also taking on a new persona, a new personality. And so, for example, when I speak English, when I'm in Canada, when I'm speaking to friends in English, I have a certain persona, I have a certain mold that I fit into. And oftentimes it's a little bit difficult to break through that mold, especially if it's a very ingrained mold. It's something that you're comfortable in. And so when you're trying to challenge yourself, when you're trying to break through old patterns or old habits, for example, insecurities like trying to challenge yourself to speak in public or to, speak in general. Like a lot of times, like growing up, I don't know if this is related, but this is how I think about it in my mind. Like, I grew up in an Asian family, so similar to a lot of, maybe I don't want to generalize to all Asians, but like a lot of Asian Americans, a lot of Chinese Americans or Canadians, growing up in that type of household, at least in mine, there wasn't a lot of sharing. There wasn't a lot of vocalization of your feelings and your expressions. And so that was something that I felt was always, it was always like a skill that was lacking in especially in social situations. Like I'd always feel like my other friends were very adept or very skilled at expressing themselves, telling jokes, telling stories. This was something that didn't come naturally to me. I was never encouraged to do it at home for sure. And so it was something that I was always self-conscious about. I always be thinking, am I saying the right thing? Does this sound okay? Is this funny? I would always be second guessing myself in my native language or in the language that I was most competent in. So it's really interesting how learning Mandarin, I've noticed that it's almost allowed me to become a child again, to give myself that opportunity to challenge these fears or to not even challenge them, just to sort of to learn it for the first time. It's almost like giving myself this childhood experience again of childhood curiosity, trying to speak, not only speak in a new language, but to speak and to learn to express myself. And I think learning a new language especially is helpful for that, because when you're speaking to other people in a new language that you're learning, they don't have that expectation on you where you're a native speaker. And so they don't have that expectation that you're going to speak perfectly. They're going to, they have that tolerance. They know that this is not your native language, and so you're going to make mistakes, and that's fine. And I think part of that is sort of relieving on my part, because I know I can make mistakes. I know I can challenge myself and tell stories and ask questions and speak almost a little bit more comfortably and almost without that weight, that burden that I may have sometimes when speaking English. Now, don't get me wrong, when I speak English, I can be much more descriptive and expressive still. But I feel like in some ways, speaking Chinese is sort of it's just a very different experience. It's almost like I can be a different person. And I know people have talked about this, like sort of, does speaking a different language, do you take on a different personality? And there's people who agree and disagree on this point, but I think, you're probably not a completely different person, but I definitely feel like you do take on different characteristics especially if you're learning a new language and you're idolizing or you're learning from specific types of people and you're looking up to specific types of people and you're listening to these people all the time, you're definitely going to take on to their mannerisms and the way they speak and even the words that they use, the language that they use. And so this is going to affect the way that you speak and the way that you think and the way that you express in this language. And so this is just something that I've noticed that's pretty interesting. Learning a new language is a really great way to, I don't think I would recommend it to challenge sort of your insecurities. It's a very difficult way to do that, I would say. Learning a language is a huge challenge in itself. And so I would say that it's probably a cool side effect of learning a new language. I think it's a cool, if you're able to notice that, I feel like it's a really cool side effect. It allows you to really be aware of some of the insecurities that you have and maybe some of the personality traits. Like you can notice how you are different in a different language, how you think differently, how you express yourself differently. I think it's really cool to examine that and to notice that part about yourself. I don't know. What do you guys think? When you guys learn Chinese, when you guys learn a different language, do you guys feel like you take on a different personality? Do you guys feel like you're challenging yourself in different ways? Let me know in the comment section below. See you guys next time.